Hey guys, we're here in the Tom Cox Arboretum to bring you a new top 5 video. Today, us here at Mr. Maple, we're going to be talking about top 5 deciduous conifers in the Tom Cox Arboretum. I'm Matt.
And I'm Tim. And Tom Cox is one of the world's leading experts on growing conifers and ginkgos in the South. And while we're here at his gardens, we said, let's hit up some deciduous conifers. I mean, there's some amazing deciduous conifers out there. And deciduous conifers are conifers that drop their needles during the winter. There's some amazing types out there. We love so many different selections. And here at Tom Cox's Arboretum, he's got so many amazing deciduous conifers. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 of those. And I think you're going to get pretty excited about this video. Number 5.
Let's start with my number 1 and one of my all-time favorite deciduous conifers. This is Metasequoia glyptosymboides Sherman's Nordlich, often referred to as Northern Light. This one's a mouthful, but it's a great plant. Northern Light is a broom found on the cultivar white spot.
Yeah, so it was a dwarf witch's broom found on white spot. And when they grafted that, they had Sherman, who found the broom, this dwarf Dawn Redwood that has the creamy foliage of white spot, but a dwarfer, more compact form on the Dawn Redwood.
You've heard us say before on our channel, one of the rarest things in existence in the plant world are variegated brooms. And Sherman's Nordlich is just that. This plant is variegated. It has that real weird, unique color from white spot, but also that broom compact habit, making it very unique amongst plants, extremely unique amongst Dawn Redwoods. Now, this is a conifer that's going to drop all of its needles. It actually goes through some fun orangey to yellow fall colors. But what really lights this one up is that spring color. It's going to hold out throughout the spring and summer very well. And it's going to have this almost translucent bright yellow point there in the garden.
I love Dawn Redwoods. They were in one valley in China, and people found them and thought they were only on fossil records. And then in the 1950s, they found Dawn Redwoods, and then they started finding all these variations off of them. Mm-hmm. And Sherman's Nordlich is one of the most ornamental traits ever found on a Dawn Redwood, being it has that creamy foliage in the spring, almost like a creamy blue. And I mean, it's just outstanding on its spring color and summer colors. But here in the fall, as this goes to this light lemon with hints of bronze in it, it just adds even more to the landscape. I love that this has this smaller, compact shape. It allows a lot of gardeners who wouldn't be able to experience the Metasequoia, this plant that has been on fossil records for, thousands of years, to actually be able to experience this plant in their garden.
I love Sherman's Nordlich. It's definitely one of our top 5 conifers, even if you're at our place. So it definitely had to go on our list of top 5 deciduous conifers here at the Cox Arboretum. Number 4.
Here we have an amazing deciduous conifer. We've got Taxodium dissecum falling waters.
And this is just an awesome cultivar right here. Heavy weeper. It just goes great in the exact setting that it's in right here beside a pond.
I love how he has this thing, and it's an amazing weeping bald cypress, but he's allowed this plant to grow up and cascade over this pond. I mean, it's an excellent, excellent use of this weeping bald cypress. I mean, what are some of your favorite things about bald cypresses?
Honestly, one of my favorite things is the little buttress roots that it ends up sending all around it. It adds something in there that you don't really see anywhere else.
Yeah, I love those little knees that pop up from the bald cypresses. Around a pond, they really, really stick out and make something very fun and different. And people often say, what's that from? And it's from the bald cypress. Falling waters, I mean, this is such an amazing plant. We're here in mid to late October, and what we're seeing here is the orange bronze fall color of falling waters. I mean, this is such an amazing weeping bald cypress. At an early age, we do recommend staking up something like falling waters, because this is a plant that should be staked up and then be allowed to cascade down to really accentuate that weeping habit. But I mean, this is just such an amazing specimen out here. Taxodium dissecum falling waters. Number 3, this is an amazing plant. This is Taxodium dissecum twisted logic. Tom comes up with amazing names. And this is a tree he put the name on of Twisted Logic. And the reason I love this plant is because it has this straight trunk, but then these side branches here just twist and curve back and forth. Such a great name for a bald cypress that has this twisting, contorting form. I mean, this tree is spectacular in the texture it gives out in the landscape. For a bald cypress, this one is one that is extremely unique and very different. I love how this one just twists and curves, and it gives you everything you love about bald cypress, from being a plant that can handle more wet areas, from being a plant that gives you a really nice orange bronze fall color, to being a plant that has these branches that twist and curve. Looks almost like a snake. I love Twisted Logic. This is a conifer that I think more people need to use in their garden. We're going to be trying to make this tree more and more available on MrMaple.com. We've offered it before in the past, but we have to really make this tree more and more available because this thing is so unique and so different. The way this thing twists and curves really stands out for bald cypresses. There's not many other bald cypresses that do this. There's not a lot of many other trees that do this. And this one is so unique in that form that it gives a really nice texture out there in the landscape and garden. I mean, you notice this thing right away when you look at it because you're like, what in the world is that? I've never seen something that has such curves to the branches. And Twisted Logic is a bald cypress that is just spectacular.
Number 2.
So next up on our deciduous conifers list, we've got amazing dawn redwoods. One of my favorite dawn redwoods. This is Metasequoia glyptostroboides, all bronze. This is a dawn redwood that not only has this orange bronze fall color, but in the springtime, if given some sunlight, this one really has some really nice bronze color in the spring and the early summer. That means this tree gives you some amazing color even in the springtime and summertime. All bronze has needles that's a little bit longer than the typical species. So it's one that is very unique. Redwoods get their name redwood because of this red bark that you see here. And that really gives this plant an extra ornamental appeal even during the winter. I love all bronze because it's a dawn redwood that can give you a nice color variation that is very unique and very different. All bronze is extremely rare in the nursery trade. We've offered it before on MrMaple.com, but it's one that doesn't become often available at many nurseries. It's extremely rare, very unique, and is definitely one of my top 5 deciduous conifers here at the Cox Arboretum. Number 1. Guys, this is one of my favorite deciduous conifers. We're talking about Metasequoia glyptostroboides Ogon. I love this dawn redwood. This is one of the very first color variations on a dawn redwood. When they first started getting them out there, they found this golden form. This selection was brought back from Japan under the name Ogon. Some people believe this may be synonymous with gold rush. We can't confirm that for sure, but this plant really has some amazing golden yellow color. I mean, in the springtime, this thing is bright, bright yellow. In the summer, this thing is bright, bright yellow. We're here in the fall, so you're right before, you're seeing some of the other plants around this start to turn a little yellower at the moment. But in the springtime, this plant just stands out because it is one of the brightest yellows in the garden. In the summer, the same way. In the fall, Metasequoia Ogon, this thing can go to some really nice oranges to orange bronzes in the fall. Like the species of dawn redwood, the bark on this really gives a nice red color for winter interest. So this is one of our favorites when it comes to dawn redwoods or deciduous conifers because of what this tree can do. This is a plant that can get 25 feet in 10 years. Once it's established, we can get 2.5 to 3 feet of growth in a year on Metasequoia Ogon. So this makes a larger tree. You definitely want to make sure you've got plenty of room for Metasequoia Ogon. But when you do, this is a deciduous conifer that can give you some really nice yellow out there in the landscape and garden. We all know that I love the color yellow, so it shouldn't surprise you that a yellow made it on this top 5 list. Amazing, amazing plant. Metasequoia Ogon, definitely one of my top 5 plants with deciduous conifers, especially here at the Cox Arboretum. We really appreciate you watching today's video here on the Mr. Maple Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with your gardening friends. It doesn't take a lot of time for you to stop and like this video, but it definitely helps us out tremendously, as well as making sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel. And when you share this video with your friends, word of mouth is a great way for your other gardening friends to learn about us and all the hard work we do here to make this YouTube programming possible so that you can enjoy it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Take care, God bless, and have a great day.